So today, Christo and I are gonna do a little bit of role playing. Not the role playing you're thinking, but we're gonna role play how to sell large digital projects. I'm gonna be the client, Chris is gonna be selling us. It's the first call. You wanna watch this? Stick around.
Let me try this again.
I want you guys to listen to me.
Yeah.
I design sandwiches. My name is Jose Caballero and I talk about the business of design. I talk about a lot of stuff.
My name is Chris Doe, and I talk about the business of design.
At the center of this operating system, it's about understanding.
Jose, can we just tell them what the show title is?
I hate you, dude.
You are watching The Process.
So the question and the issue that's starting to happen with our community is bigger projects. So like hunting bigger game.
What size?
Pitching $250,000 projects. Let's do an e-commerce.
Let's do it.
Let's do an e-commerce solution.
Okay. Give me something hard, dude.
It's a manufacturing company. You happen to love the products. It's like the largest and coolest bag manufacturing
I love it already.
in the United States. And they have a problem, and that is that their e-commerce experience is a mess.
Let's say Toomey or something. Toomey?
Yeah.
Okay, fictitious.
That's actually a real possibility.
I get it.
Toomey comes to you.
I know the website.
Here's the harder problem. This is being driven by the design and marketing team. They're looking for someone because they're tired of tech driving it.
Yes, I hear that. That's very common. That's probably a trend in 2016.
Right.
People are getting burned by tech-led solutions because it sort of works, but it never does what they hope for from a brand.
They're never satisfied
Right.
with the customer experience.
The high touch thing isn't working, right?
So they want to
Okay.
bring somebody who's really amazing at design and who can really get them to the level that Toomey's at.
Right.
Because Toomey is at a really high level.
Yes.
Now the challenge is that the client stakeholders aren't techie, but they have to actually collaborate with the techie people, and the techie guy is going to be in on the call.
Great.
And their issue is integration. We are integrated to an existing ERP system and CRM system, which is customer resource management and enterprise resource something. ERP is like how you control like the product itself, the SKUs, and that you use all these different solutions for it. And then you have the entire workflow of how new products get added, et cetera.
Perfect.
That's the challenge. You're
Great.
being brought in. Chris, we love the work you did.
Sent me an RFP.
So-and-so.
I responded,
Send in an
now we're
RFP.
having a meeting.
We're looking for somebody who can do that. There's a meeting here in LA.
Let's do it. Now we're in the meeting.
Yes.
So do I take it over from there?
Yeah, go.
Okay.
How do you pitch that?
How do I pitch that? There are obvious technical concerns and integrations that are well beyond my level of experience. I need to bring somebody in to talk about that. But before I do that, let me try to understand what your issues are. What are the challenges that you're having? And who are you? Are you the CTO?
No, I'm not. I'm actually
CMO?
No, I am a marketing team member. I'm handling the RFP. Hey, my name is Jill. Jill. It's gonna be a woman.
Hi, Jill.
Yeah.
You sound very coarse today.
Yeah. My name is Jill.
Coarse.
It's not gonna be a woman. I'm being.
No, it's fine.
But it's likely.
Why not?
It's an
It could be a
associate
woman.
inside marketing.
Hi, Jill.
Yeah. Hey, Chris. Nice to talk to you. Listen.
Yeah.
We really love your design work. You came highly recommended.
Thank you so much.
Somebody spoke to me at a conference that I was at. I come from the broadcast world. I used to be an executive at NBC, but now I'm transitioned into this company trying to build their marketing.
Great.
But
We pitched for NBC, but don't hold that against us.
No, you know what? They're wonderful. I had a great time there. The challenge I have is that we need to create an amazing site, and we have an upcoming product launch in about 4 months. And we've had a lot of challenges in getting the level of quality we want from our partners, from our vendors, and also integrating with our technology solutions. So if you look at our site, it's a little like there's some challenges with it.
Yeah. Oh, I love your brand, by the way.
Yeah, I hope.
I'm on the site all the time.
What do you tell me? What do you look for on the site? Like, how do you? First of all, tell me what you think about the site.
I love the design. I love your products, and I'm a fan. I've been a fan for a long time, and I have to admit I like bags. I understand women's obsession with bags. I like bags. Just some new cool tech, and I love the textiles, the colors, and the attention to detail that you guys have in it. Now, if I may I? If I may be a little critical, the experience on mobile is buggy. I just have to tell you, because I'm always looking for a bag, and it's buggy. But nobody's perfect. But I'm
No,
hoping
but we need to
maybe the
solve
reason
that.
why we're
We need to
talking
solve
is
that.
because there's a problem to solve.
You pointed out one of our key issues, the responsive aspect of our site.
Yeah.
And we're trying to figure out, we want to do an app, but we don't know whether it's focused on the e-commerce or more on the marketing aspect of it. We really need help, and we need help with our tech team. How do you deal with integration? I'm new to Toomey, and I come from marketing and from design, so I'm trying to figure out how we do it. We have our CTO. Yeah, you're a creative guy. How does your company do tech?
I want to be honest with you. Almost always, whenever we get into a room and there's a tech person, they always want to talk about tools and techniques and things like that. I understand there's a place for that, but what you're talking about, it is a design problem, and I think I can help you solve those things and play nice with the tech. So I don't personally feel like there's an issue there. It's about thinking through the experience from the user's point of view. And a lot of times clients will come in and ask us, you know what, we need a new app or we need to do this. I'd like to say, I'm pretty sure you're right, but let's diagnose the problem just to be sure, because I'm not sure how many people would actually download the app.
Right.
You're asking for another step.
Whether the app is okay.
And we talk about user experience as giving somebody what they want in the fewest number of steps. So if we force people to download an app, it's got to do something magical. It's got to give you something that you haven't been able to get before. Otherwise, I don't know about you, but I delete apps on a pretty regular basis off my phone.
Okay, I agree with that we have to figure out what's the right approach. My question though is, if we hired you, could you redo the app responsive, or can you redo the site to be better as a responsive site, or could you do an app for us?
Yes on both questions.
Okay.
Now,
great.
my experience
Great.
is, in regards to responsive, is that when we try to design for desktop and then try to go down to mobile, there's always things that break in translation. I think in this case, we probably should design mobile first.
Yes.
Right? We should probably design mobile first, and we probably should design it to be slightly different experiences, meaning there's a common thread, but to optimize for mobile, things need to be big, be friendly for pushing buttons and sliding and swiping. Those things are very important. Make it very easy. And we kind of look at the dexterity of a person's thumb. Make it super easy for them. This is the one device we never leave home without. It's with us, attached to our body and our brain.
Awesome.
I would think that would strategically make sense for you guys.
Awesome. Who's going to come from your team to our meeting? At our meeting is going to be our CTO. I'm going to be there. My boss is going to be there. And one other associate from marketing is going to be there who does our social media.
Can I ask you point blank?
Yes.
If you were to channel everybody in that room, what are going to be their top 3 objections about working with a firm like Blind?
Our CTO, great question. Pause to think. Well, let me think about this. Your site doesn't talk a lot about, it shows some case studies. It doesn't talk about your technology expertise, so my CTO is going to immediately bring that up. He has a preferred partner that he's working with.
Who's that?
I can't tell you.
XY company?
I can't tell you who they are.
Okay.
But they're not performing for us in the way that we want them to.
I see.
So he's looking at solutions. I brought you in because my friend so-and-so recommended you extremely highly in the work you did for
X.
Great. And you guys did beautiful work. I was just blown away by the work. But he's gonna be really objecting to the technology chops. Then the social media person, they're not going to have a lot of objections, other they're going to want to see a little bit of work. That they want to know that you know how to leverage, the design that we're creating across channels, and that you'll meet their needs, that the site and whatever we're doing meets their marketing needs. And then finally, my boss is really he's on the line to increase sales. So for
It's
him,
my specialty.
For him, it's all about how do you help us increase our online sales and our customer engagement online.
Great.
Right now, it's not horrible.
Yeah.
It's actually not bad, but we need to manage our partner channel relationships, meaning our distributors. We have our own stores, but other people carry our product.
Perfect. Jill, thank you for answering that. Most of my clients aren't that forthright, and I really appreciate your level of transparency.
I like you guys. I want you guys to be the winner.
I like you for liking us.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I want to just make sure I heard you clearly. Okay? So our site does not reflect the kinds of things that you want. We've been super busy. Let me send over a deck. It's going to show you a lot more of the digital
Please.
Projects that we've done.
That would be great.
Mobile apps, etc., and some testimonials from clients that we've worked with.
Please do
We've
that.
worked with a lot of big tech companies, okay? So we'll send you that over. And let me think about who I would like to align myself with that can speak to the technology, because I'm not a technologist. I like to solve people problems. Sometimes I think the technology gets in our way, all right, so that we can address what concerns your CTO might have. And it sounds to me that you've been down this road before,
Yes.
and I want to be sensitive to his needs and that he doesn't feel embarrassed. I'm a person to unify the teams here, so I'm not here to castrate anybody or just to make somebody look unfavorable. He's probably trying to defend his turf, and I think I can speak to that when we get face to face, okay? And the job, it sounds like fairly large, because you're talking about some kind of social media campaign, social strategy, which we can do that is well within our wheelhouse.
Well, the key job, the main job is the redesign of our
site.
e-commerce.
Okay, then we can take care of that. Okay, so social media, that's not a priority, great. Now, the largest concern, the biggest concern is you have to perform. You've got stockholders you're beholden to, and revenue is not where it needs to be. That's where I believe I can make the greatest case for why you should go with us, because I'm a very entrepreneurially minded, creative person. Like, I think design, graphics, even the UX is all very important, but I want to make sure what we're doing is in service of the greater goal, which is for you to increase your bottom line. So I think I can address that once we're in front of your CEO. Now, before we go too much deeper, and before you throw a wrench into the works here, this sounds like a fairly large engagement. Do you have a budget already?
I can't, look, we want to scope this together with someone.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this, that our last solution with our development partner cost us a little bit over $1 million.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. So
So
this
do you
is not, we already put that in place. So here's where it gets into like the land of weirdness, because what my boss is looking for is another partner to solve the problem inside their platform that they have now. So whoever we hire needs to know that platform. Chris, here's the other challenge, and
Yes.
I don't know a lot about technology, but what we're trying to decide is whether we keep the existing platform or whether we change it.
Jill, let me just say this, is that I don't want to come here and tell you how you should do this. If you want to work with two partners that you feel equal, like, do you want to work with one or the other, or both at the same time, or just one and one manages the other, I'm game, because I'm not here to try and sell you a solution. What I want to do is spend some time diagnosing the problem with you. Believe it or not, we've been here before. My experience has been tech-led firms sell tech. At all costs, they sell you the tech, and when the tech doesn't work out, there's not much else to fall back on. And so I understand you have made a large investment with a solution. Let's go into it with an open mind. Let's try to make that work, but if together we determine that it's pouring good money after bad, then we should not continue down that path. I'm going to bring in somebody that I think can really speak to Sitecore or Magento, whatever the e-commerce problems that you're having. If you don't mind
Great,
giving me
that's all
a little back-end access right now, so I can do my due diligence.
I'll actually email
beforehand.
you. I'll email you the request. I'll email you the technical portion of the RFP,
Beautiful.
which you haven't gotten.
So,
And
great.
You can see that. So if there's anything you can do, remember, I really want you guys to be the partner, and that's the biggest stumbling block.
Okay.
It's going to be the tech.
Right, but I did need to know, really, I mean, you now said you've spent $1.5 million to get this thing done right.
We don't want
I
to
mean,
spend another $1.5 million, though.
What do you want to spend?
Well, hopefully less than that. This is
Like
this,
$1 million?
This is a bit under that. But we haven't put a budget together.
Okay.
We need to fix this as it pertains.
It's a priority for you guys.
It is a priority to us, but we've already, like you said it well, we don't want to throw bad money after bad. So we're really sensitive to
Yeah.
finding the right partner for
I
this.
understand.
I do prefer just dividing the partners and having like a tech partner.
Yep.
But my boss doesn't like that. Well, okay, so Chris, the next steps are we're going to do a meeting. Bring that person that you talked about. I'm going to send you the technical portion of the RFP.
Yep.
Please review it and be ready to answer some questions
Yes,
around that.
absolutely.
And we're meeting next Tuesday in our conference room and whatever.
Right.
Or we're coming to your office.
Right, perfect. And so I just want to confirm with you that you spent $1.5 million. You'd rather not spend that money again, but you're prepared to do it to make it work, correct?
I can tell you that between $250 and $500 is where they're thinking.
Wow. Oh, brakes just slapped on. Jill, you were, the romance
I
was
know,
going so
I know.
nicely, Jill.
But listen,
and then
do
you're like,
wanna
you pick up the check.
Do you want to do
What's going on?
Remember, we don't know whether we're going to redesign the whole solution and choose another platform, or we're going to just fix the one we have.
Okay, but let me just say this, because I hope you're feeling this from me right now, is that I'm a really straight shooter. I speak very directly. Just for us to do the design and get into this thing, forget the tech and the development part. We're talking about at least $500,000 here. This is a big assignment.
I just told you, it's between 200 and 500. I know we're asking for a lot.
You are.
We're looking for a partner for the long term to help us out with TUMI Global. This is just TUMI USA.
Oh,
right
I know
now.
what you're doing, Jill. You're dangling the carrot.
Yeah. And this is somebody that we want to bring in to really showcase how well we can actually do this from a design standpoint.
You know what, though, Jill?
We can cut the scope if we need to.
You're $1 billion company. This doesn't compute. So this is like cognitive dissonance.
How about
for
this,
me.
Chris?
Yes.
Why don't we come in? Let's figure out at a minimum to do a discovery phase.
Yes.
$30,000-$40,000.
Okay.
And that could be where we determine what the scope and the budget will
Perfect.
be.
That sounds fair to me.
All right,
Okay.
great.
Thanks for compromising there.
No worries.
Yeah.
I'll see you on Tuesday.
Now, if Jill were to dig a really hard line, and I'm like, I'm not comfortable with this money, I would just pull out right then and there. Here's how I would say it, just so you guys know on camera.
And I know that.
Okay, here goes. Oh, Jill.
I'm
wow.
smart.
Okay, shoot. All right. I'm sure there are companies out there that can do what it is that you want. We're probably not the right vendor because I just don't know how to do what it is that you want. This is a really big ask and a big assignment, and I don't want to waste your time to go into a meeting, to do discovery and to do all this when I know I can't do the job for that amount of money.
Here's the nuance. You can probably do anything for $250,000 if you
Anybody
if
could
you do the
anything,
discovery
for
right.
sure.
If you do the discovery right, you can do something to help them with their main problem. So this is where you have to remove or divide the problem from the scope and the cost. The challenge is for a consultancy who's selling this, we went through it really well. That's a real scenario where Jill says, why don't we do a discovery phase?
Yeah.
I've seen that happen with clients. That's smart client.
Right.
During the discovery phase, you're negotiating the scope. And
Yeah.
that's where you cut back and you add and like you come back with a proposal, and I've done those. And there are projects that this is what will play out probably in the actual engagement. They'll come in and you'll cut scope and agree on a SOW for $450,000 because they want to keep it under $500,000.
Sure.
But they cut the scope to where you're happy now.
Yeah.
During the engagement, it becomes clear that what you cut out is going to be needed anyway.
That was a great scene, actually. Thanks for playing along with me, Jose. Now you've got my approach to selling, and to do that, why don't you give us your thoughts and probably speak to that camera right there. Go ahead and review it.
So first of all, Chris Doe is a master, so don't feel intimidated. He did a great job on that first call. He knows me well, and like it was a very straight conversation. I would say that the two things that made me nervous was the separation of the
Church and state?
technical away from, like, I don't feel like there's enough integration, and I'm not talking to the technical guy. And my issue is that I'm not technical. So I don't know how to satisfy my stakeholders internally and how to vet a client that isn't technical. So in the reality of things, we probably wouldn't be looking at blind for TUMI, even if we wanted better design. We would be looking at, Huge or like one of the big digital integrated agencies to do it, who did the work. Anyway, because the way they position and sell themselves is very neutrally. They actually do an amazing job at saying, we solve your business problems and we integrate technology with the people that do technology, strategy, and design. It's all on their website, and you're like, okay, perfect. So you don't ask that question doesn't even come up that much. And they do have limitations in what they can do technically, but they figure it out, right? In terms of how to structure the teams. That was the only thing that made me nervous from the conversation.
As Jill, what kind of feedback would you give me to the camera about how the call went for you? Like, what did I do with you, to you, for you, that you thought were either good or off point? Yeah.
This is Jill. Chris did a great job. He sold me on himself. He was very honest and straightforward. He didn't, he just was straight. He addressed some of my concerns. that he would bring somebody in at a technical level, which was the thing that I was the most nervous about. So I was less nervous about that, of course, until we have our meeting. Let's see who the person is, and I'm sending him more information in the RFP on the technical side of things. So I'm hoping that we can kind of bridge that. And the one thing I would coach him before our meeting is to really speak to how the entire internal team is part of the user group that it needs the website and all our platforms to be usable. So it's not just about how that looks to the customer.
Right.
It's internal and external. If he can address that, which will give my boss, the marketing VP, comfort, and it will give my CTO comfort, we're in good shape.
Great. So here's what I would like to say to you guys. Jill, in this case, was more willing to play with me and gave me a lot of information. Jose can't help himself. He just likes to help me out. More often than not, when you're dealing with a real client, they hold everything really close to their chest, and it takes a lot of work to let them feel safe, that they're not actually helping anybody, especially not helping themselves, by holding this tight. Now notice a lot of times what I did was I would ask a question, and then what did I do? And I just listen. You have to really listen. And so every time I heard a concern, I wrote it down here. And so Jill could have gone on for 100 concerns. I would have circled back and addressed each and every single one of them, time permitting, but I would highlight the ones that I thought were the biggest. So notice how I even asked the questions, like what are your top 3 objections to working with a firm like ours? And hopefully she knows. And I'm also listening, not for her concerns specifically, but all the other stakeholders, the CTO, the CMO, the CEO. And she did a great job because she already knew all these things, but sometimes they don't know that. And so I might ask, well, who else is concerned and what are their concerns? And then unearth that as well. And then to say it back to them, because by saying it back to them, not only did I tell them I listened and I heard you, but I'm validating you at the same time. And now I'm thinking about when I go to that meeting, when I have my deck, it needs to address these 3 things very clearly. If I want to have a shot at winning it, I need to address them head on. The other thing I want to point out to you guys here, kind of being very meta and breaking this thing down, is don't be afraid to be direct. That doesn't mean you're going to say things like a jerk. I don't say things like a jerk. I say them very directly. I'm not sure if that's going to work out for us, or maybe we're not the right people. I'm not saying, get out of my face, you're wasting my time. I'm not doing it like that. But people, I think, genuinely like people who are direct. And I try to be as direct as possible without being crass or rude or confrontational. So just think about that, guys. All right.
We just covered like one of the number 1 challenges, which is selling bigger projects. And you did a great job, and you do a good job in general in selling bigger projects. The thing to watch out with is integration. So what's next, and what I hope to share with you guys over the process of creating things like the system and new content for the school, is the team aspect of working and selling in a larger digital kind of agency framework, and how that's going to affect your practice. So that's it. Great job, Cristo.
Good job, Jose. Thanks for doing this. This was a great role play. Hope you guys got some value from this. Please comment below, like this video if you like it, and see you around. I don't know which card to throw.